911. No, you're going to have a nurse make the call because you won't be able to use the phone. The only person that's going to save you is you, not anybody else, just you. And you will probably, likely, never be faced with that decision. But it can happen. And as these two officers pointed out, sensible things. It's fireworks. Is it the 4th of July, you nitwit, or is it December the 10th? It ain't fireworks, it's gunfire. You need to move away from the gunfire. We're the guys that move toward it. You're the guys that move away from it. So all that's kind of sound advice is what we offer. Think about it for 10 minutes and you'll see the sense of it all. This is not rocket science. It's not brilliance. It's not anything. It's deciding what you want to do when faced with the end of your days at the hands of a stranger. What do you want to do? Do you want to submit to that or not? Make that decision up front. Make that decision up front. My wife was faced with a situation like that once where she was going to kill a guy. It was at her house. She'd received threats because of my work. And the guy had been there, told her what color the carpet was in the living room. All right. She called the PD, called me. Somebody's rattling the windows at our children's bedroom. Kathy came out of the house with a gun in her hand and said, "Come out of those bushes, you son of a bitch, or I'm going to kill you." And she's an excellent shot. The guy came out of the bushes, he was a policeman who was a moron who I knew. And he said, "Well, don't shoot, I'm a policeman. I was checking your windows. Don't you think you could have told me that before you started doing that sort of thing?" But anyway, Kathy knew at that moment she could pull the trigger. And that is the point. Can you do this? Yeah, you can. Did I ever? No. Would I have? Without doubt. Without doubt. And I used to say that to people when I arrested. That was my standard line. My name's Ken Dunn from the police department. I got a gun in my hand. You're under arrest for first degree murder. If you don't do what I say, I'm going to kill you right here and right now. That quietly. And everybody would go. I think he means it, yeah, he does. Never had to, I would have. You have to make that decision in advance, and that's what these guys are telling you. You can't suddenly sit down and start making notes. When the crap hits the fan, it's too late for that. What am I going to do? How am I going to react? Think about it. Walk up to your car, get in the habit of looking in the back seat. Anybody in the back seat that's not supposed to be? No. Those kinds of little things that you can do. You go on vacation, what do? You leave the light on in the living room. No, leave the light on in the bathroom. People have occasion to be in the bathroom 24 hours a day. A burglar is going to walk in the bathroom like, somebody might be in there. I'll go to the next house where there's no lights on in the living room at 2 in the morning. Yeah, that's going to be the one. Not the bathroom light. No. Little things like that. Just little things. Who has questions? Yes, ma'am.
We've got 3 fairly good-sized dogs, and a doggy board that allows them access to the backyard of the house at all times. Are we overconfident in that?
No, you're not, because people have 2 natural fears. Everyone is afraid of fire, and everyone is afraid of animals. It's instinctual in you from millions of years ago. Animals are going to eat me. Fire is going to kill me. I don't care how big of a dog it is. People hear a dog bark and they back off. I can't tell you how many times on the street you bring a canine out of a police car and all of a sudden the crowd disappears. Even though they've been yelling and screaming and calling us every name they can think of, that dog comes out and stands up on his hind legs and he's 6 feet tall and he's nothing but teeth and he's going crazy like, "Please let me go. I haven't killed anybody all day." Right? Everybody says, "There's 300 people here, but that dog's going to bite me. I'm going to go home now." And that's what they do. Because that natural fear is there. That dog is going to take me and he's going to hurt me and I can't stop him. I know you cannot. All right? A dog will defend you to the death. They're better than people that way. All right? But there's a natural fear there. I said, no, yes, you bet. That's fine. Who else? Yes. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Sure. You're vulnerable at that moment, yes. You can do the simple thing before you approach that car with that child is be aware of your surroundings. Who's here? Who's in this parking lot? Who doesn't look like they belong in this parking lot? Is there someone loitering in this parking lot? Why is he doing that? Why is he hanging around, or why is he getting in his own car? Why is he just standing there? If you see something that doesn't look right, guess what? It's not right. People say, how do I know it's going to be suspicious? Oh, you'll know. Instantly, right? That doesn't look right. There's something in police record called JDLR. Just doesn't look right. Huh? It's the same thing for you. Before you put that kid in that car and put yourself in that vulnerable position, who's around? You're not going to deal with a sprinter who's going to come at you from 100 yards away that you didn't see. You're going to deal with somebody in a close by area. You see that person, you walk away, you go find a policeman, you find a security guard, you wait until that person makes some decision to go somewhere else. Then load the job. Yes?
I've heard various things from law enforcement or advisors about, like, oh, if a mugger approaches you, you shouldn't fight back, you should just hand it over. I disagree, and I actually made a decision a long time ago. If that happened, I would fight back, and I did, and they ran away.
Good for you. It's a personal choice.
Okay.
It's a personal choice.
If you had any,
I don't. I'm not going to advise somebody to be a pugilist when they're not capable of doing that. Okay?
I disagree.
Of course. I had a neighbor who was 80 years old. He watches too many news programs, and he believes the bad guys are coming out of a whisper mode helicopter on fast ropes, coming to his house. It's probably the Russian army that's going to be there because he watched the news that night. And he goes out and buys a gun. So he comes over to me, he says, "Do you know a lot about guns?" I said, "Yeah, I do." "Well, I bought one. I paid $900 for it." "Wow. Let me see it." It's a Browning High Power, 9mm, okay? Nice gun, but a single action semi-automatic pistol requires a slide to be released in order to load around and cock the hammer, then you can shoot the gun. The other thing about semi-automatics is they failure to battery, they have a class 1, class 2, class 3 malfunction. Are you smart enough to know what's wrong with this gun? Why doesn't it work? Because now it's a rock if it's not functioning as a gun, right? So this guy's standing there looking at me, so what do you think I should do? I said, "Well, I think you should do this. Do you have a vise in your garage?" "Yeah." I said, "Well, take that gun and put it in the vise and get a file and file that front sight blade smooth right down to the operating side. Just take that front sight blade off that weapon and tear it." "Well, why should I do that?" I said, "So when somebody takes it away from you and sticks it up your ass, it won't hurt so bad when they take it out." You're 80 years old, for God's sake. You don't even know how to load this thing. The only advantage you have is you have $900 and you bought this gun. Go get your money back. Which you did. So you have to, it's a personal decision. Are you capable? Can you do this? Okay? And fighting, somebody that knows how to street fight is going to hurt you. You watch sporting events, basketball players fight like girls. I mean, they don't know how to fight. Baseball players don't know how to fight either. Football players don't know how to fight. A guy who knows how to fight is going to hurt you. All right? And that's a guy that's on the street. So it's just, you're going to decide. Who else? Yes, sir.
How did Columbine affect you as a police officer?
It changed the techniques of approach. When Columbine occurred, the thinking was, You shelter in place, you wait for response, you get tactical enforcement present to the building, and they follow the rule book. And the rule book was wrong. They waited, and they shouldn't have waited. The new rule book says, somebody's hurt, you assault. You assault that building. You find that guy and you kill him, okay? We had a shooter in Colorado Springs in a family birth control clinic. He's an anti-abortion guy. He is absolutely unwound. He's completely insane, but he's got 3 guns. And he's blasting away, shoots 2 of our officers, wounds them, kills one of our officers. They go in that building after him, and they're exchanging rounds. He's got an M4, which is an assault weapon. They've got handguns, but they're firing at him, and he's firing back. But he keeps retreating into the building. They've focused him on them. He's not shooting the employees anymore. He's trying to stop from being shot by the police. When SWAT got there, they drove an armored car through the front of that building at 60 miles an hour. Just took out all the walls and everything, and took him with it. They put him on the front of this armored car and took him to the back wall of the building. That was very effective in his particular case. He was about 6 inches wide when he came out the other side of the building. So that's the new method, is immediate assault. Columbine, they didn't do that, and a lot of people died. So you learn. Sometimes you learn the hard way. That was the hard way. And who else?
This
Yes,
is going to have
ma'am.
to be the last question, by the way. We're out of time.
What Florida are we talking about? I don't know. I don't have any idea.
Okay, so we're going to have to wrap this up because some of us want to participate in the Heist on the High Sea activity, which is happening at 11 o'clock. And this time it's not in the theater. It's going to be in Deck 5, where the big champagne tower was last night, Deck 5 midship. But anyway, what we've just heard from, by my count, is a total of about 70 years of police experience. So I hope we got a lot out of it. I did it myself. Thank you all very much. And we'll see you around the ship and on land.